You're watching NBC4, working for you. Live from the area's leading news station, this is News 4 at 5.
Welcome back to the second half hour of News 4 at 5. I'm Susan Kidd.
And I'm Wendy Rieger. A plan that stomped out violence in one of D.C.'s most violent neighborhoods has helped another troubled area on the other side of the country. Today, leaders with the National Center for Neighborhood Enterprise showed local community leaders how to motivate citizens to move violence out of their neighborhoods. They say their plan made a difference in the gang-ridden area of Benning Terrace Southeast, and their work was most recently used in Dallas, Texas, at one of their more violent high schools.
If success can be experienced in Benning Terrace, then it's a model for what can be done throughout the nation. In fact, we have exported the Benning model to Dallas, and we're going to present that today.
7 years ago, 12-year-old Darrell Hall was shot and killed in the Benning Terrace projects. It was that murder that prompted warring gangs in the area to call a truce.
And it was the people in that community who decided to change the way they live. Today, Tracy Wilkins visited Benning Terrace to see how those changes are coming, and she joins us now from the newsroom with more. Tracy?
Well, Susan, between 1996 and 1997, 65 people were killed in the Benning Terrace projects of Southeast Washington, also known as Simple City. Police say it was a war zone where even they were afraid to go. Then the people who lived there decided to take back their neighborhood.
He came up the hill, and on one side, he got the single-family homes, and then on the right side, this is our property here.
For years, the police didn't come here, so the gangs of Benning Terrace, also known as Simple City, were the police, judge, and jury deciding how this Southeast project would be run, and plenty of people died by the gun. Vernon Weiss was here.
When the school bells rang at 3:15, the kids would run home. It would take them approximately 2 minutes to get home, and in the units, they would be under beds or in the closets, just waiting for the gunfire to come, because they knew it was a daily routine.
One of those kids was 12-year-old Darrell Hall, a child who didn't run fast enough on January 15th, 1997. He was killed and his body found 3 days later, a crime that forever changed this project.
You know what I'm saying? Even when we was out here feuding with each other, with no understanding or no explanation as to, you know, what you're feuding for, what you're taking lives for, the kids looked up to us.
And that was enough for Vernon Weiss to help change his neighborhood, along with other community leaders. That meant stepping in between the project's gangs.
This is like the immediate divider from the warring factions, you know what I'm saying? As one group called themselves the Avenue, and the other group called themselves the Circle. So it was a warring faction between the Avenue and the Circle.
2 years after the truce, members of both gangs joined arm in arm to celebrate the stop in violence. Now, 7 years after the ceasefire, police say none of those former gang members have killed in Simple City because they were the ones who helped to clean it up, getting rid of graffiti and working with law enforcement to come into their project. Today, their efforts live on.
It could be done in other communities that's going through the same thing that we went through.
Vernon Weiss and other people in that community got help cleaning up the Benning Terrace from the National Center for Neighborhood Enterprise. Spokesmen for that group say that what happened there should be used as a model to clean up other areas in the city.
Tracy Wilkins, thank you, Tracy.
A bill in Annapolis that's
This is Fox 5 News at 10.
You know, gang violence is one of the biggest problems plaguing the district lately, claiming innocent lives, holding residents hostage. Everyone agrees it has to stop, but the question often is, how? Well, one group is offering a unique solution to stop the gang wars. Fox 5's Maureen Ume has been on this beat for a while now, and she joins us now live with this story. Maureen?
Well, Brian, here in Columbia Heights, for example, gangs have clearly marked their turf. Just take a look, MS-13 scribbled on this wall. This is just one of many communities throughout the district battling this gang problem, a problem that is claiming innocent lives. Just a week ago, a 14-year-old girl was shot dead by presumed gang members. Well, one group in Southeast thinks they have the answer to solving this problem.
The neighborhood was pretty much, you know, a warring zone. In a 4-block radius, you know, you would have killings like every other day.
Benning Terrace 7 years ago, this was a familiar scene. Crime tape, police activity, another life lost to gang violence. This time it was 12-year-old Darrell Hall, a gang member killed because of his involvement.
folks tried to excuse it and pretend like it wasn't such a big tragedy.
But it was, and as a result, ended up being a catalyst for change at Benning Terrace. A grassroots organization, the Alliance of Concerned Men, aided by a few housing authority and police officials, reached out to the warring gang leaders, eventually brokering a truce. They say they did it simply by listening, understanding, and caring for the troubled youth. A simple but effective solution.
Individuals came together and said that we can and we will make a difference for the sake of this community. And to this day, there have not been not one killing among those kids in that particular area.
Today, children who once hid in fear, especially after dark at Benning Terrace, don't have to anymore. Residents say their safety is much better. At this workshop, the group hopes talking about their success will cause other troubled communities to adopt their solution, a tried and true approach to ending gang warfare.
No matter how bad the neighborhood, no matter how severe the problems, they can all be changed if people are simply given the opportunity.
Now, the National Center for Neighborhood Enterprise helped the people at Benning Terrace actually come up with the program. A bit more concretely about this program, what they actually do is they offer training, they offer technical support, and just in general support to these young gang members. And the critical tools that they are obviously providing these people is affecting change, not just in Southeast, but they hope in places like here in Columbia Heights, too. In Northwest, Maureen Ume, Fox 5 News. Brian?
Yeah, Maureen, it takes a lot of nerve, a lot of hard work to turn things around there. We wish them the best of luck. You know, Benning Terrace provided the model for the violence-free zone program, which has been adopted now in 5 other cities plagued with youth violence.